Hey guys, I'm Dave, and this is Strength Through Weakness. Welcome back. It is so incredibly good to have you with us. Well, with me. I'm all alone in a room in front of a camera. So, it's good to have you. So last week we talked about this moment in time where God was encouraging me, calling me to do something uncomfortable, something that just didn't make a lot of sense to me, but it was clear what God was asking me to do. And so because of my past experiences, I recognized that I needed to act immediately. I needed to jump on that and go forward. And since I had the green light from Ruth, I was on it, right? And so that's where this kind of picks up. Right after service, I went and talked to this missionary, this guy that works in this ministry, and just basically said to him, hey, I think God's calling me to do your job. Maybe not in so many words, but ultimately I look back and that's pretty much what I was telling him. And not only that, but then I said, hey, but I'm sure you got to talk to a lot of people, so I'm going to give you a call later this week, right? All thinking that I'm being helpful because as a missionary, he needs to talk to people after church, people that want to know what's going on, people that want to know how they can support him through prayer or even financially. And so I thought I was doing the right thing. I think I was probably a total moron. But whatever, he was super gracious, and other than a very strange look, which seems completely fitting, we just moved along, and I gave him a phone call the next day. I got his phone number from somebody, I think from my pastor, and I called him up. He took my call, and again, he still has no idea who I am. And so he's very cautious, and he's like, oh yeah, okay, so I did say something about who will do this job when I retire, and oh okay, yeah, well, you should pray about that, and you should see if God's calling you to ministry, and all great things, right? All things that if you watch 2 videos ago, you kind of know that I knew that God was calling me to ministry. Ruth knew that God is calling me to ministry. My pastor knew that God's calling me to ministry. We were kind of all on that page. So I hung up the phone. Okay, all right. So kind of bummed out. Well, literally minutes later, I think about 30 minutes later, I got a call back from him. And he says, hey, I just talked to your pastor. Why don't we meet for breakfast? I was like, awesome. That is so cool, right? God's just moving things right along. It's just like bam, bam, bam. And so we meet for breakfast, had a great time, super graceful guy. He told me all about, what he could in breakfast, like how difficult the job can be, the fundraising, the traveling, all of these different things that Ruth needs to be 100% completely on board. All of these things, he kind of just tells me in as brief a way as possible, but he just kind of fills me in. And then this is, hey, you need to really know that you're on board with this, that Ruth's on board with this. And then if you are, in about 2 weeks, we're all meeting. Everybody in the ministry is having our yearly meeting, like 2 weeks away. And I can take and hand deliver your resume and your cover letter to the president. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Okay, all right. Get back to it. I figured, you know what? Hey, I need to meet with Pastor Jeff. I need to talk with Ruth, and we go through this, right? Me and Pastor Jeff meet, and we both have the same feeling. Like if God's going to keep opening doors and not closing doors, then man, we're on board, and we're just going to follow this out. We're going to see where it goes. Ruth feels exactly the same way. Like she's not excited about some of the things that would be required, but she's totally down to follow God, to see exactly what God has in store for us. And if God will open the door, then she will be faithful to follow through. And so all of that to be said, what ends up happening is as I'm going about my daily work, I end up running across a few people that actually find out that this minister was asking about me in different circles, like completely different circles, asking about my character, and I'm thinking, oh man, that's so cool. That's great. That's got to be a good thing, right? And so all of this happened, and it was like a whirlwind. It was so incredibly awesome to watch God work and open door after door and get our hearts all in the right place, Ruth and I, and even the kids. And as it was scary, we were all going awesome. Things were moving along quickly. 2 weeks went by. He had a resume. He had a cover letter. and coronavirus hit.